Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hayok empath. I just like having these talks on how I feel about things. So my thoughts don't turn into feelings, and my feelings get clash with my emotions, and then I take external things and make them internal things and make them external events. So I was just going down memory lane. I was listening to a song by Glass Animals called Creatures in Heaven. And it made me think about like my first time I ever fell in love. I had a good first love story. It didn't end good. But if they didn't end, it would still exist and it wouldn't be a first love, it would be an all-time love, and that's not my story. So, it was 1992. Roseanne was on TV. I just graduated high school. Like, I just graduated. And then that next week, I came home one day and Mom, my key didn't work. Mom had my locks changing. Soon as I graduated, I came out. Now, mind you, this is 1992. Being what they call queer wasn't cool then. Still not cool to a lot of people, but it's less cool then. And Roseanne was on TV, and I liked watching that show. I found comfort in it. I'm like, that's the family that the average American family. Well, when I came out, I got the whole talk from Mom. I don't understand you. You're my daughter, and I'll love you. And then she took about $3,000 of mine that I had gotten from a car accident, and she took off, and I had no place to go. She changed the locks. I'm 18. She was just like, figure it out. You're not my problem anymore. But Mom, I don't know what to do. Figure it out. And then around that time, I met this group of people. A buddy of mine that I hung out with, Jeff, and my buddy Eric. We used to just smoke weed and play pinball, drive around. And my buddy Jeff had a girlfriend, and girlfriend's parents would go out to town, and we'd just go hang out at her house. She was still in high school. And when I'd go over there, I met this girl named Dita, and Dita was fun. She was funny. She was very funny. She's Gemini. She was really tall. Hi, Rita. And then we started hanging out. Then I'd go over to her parents' house, and I'll be damned if I wasn't dropped right in the middle of Roseanne land. Only it wasn't Dan and Roseanne, DJ, Becky, and Darlene. It was Daryl and Rena, Dita, Wendy, and Misty. Her dad was a Libra. His birthday's, as a matter of fact, his birthday's today. Happy birthday, DT. He was a biker, did 4 years. Became in the military, did the program, and then started his family. And Dita was his oldest daughter. And hey, what's up? And then I found out she was a belly dancer, and I was just like, what are you gonna dance? And she danced a lot. She practiced a lot, so I'd watch. So a lot of my dance influence is predominantly from Dita, and she didn't just dance belly dance, she danced Tahitian too. She's so talented, still is. I bet she's still doing stuff with that. So, but that was like this time back in 92. And It was like, I don't know, it was first love, best friend, like all, it was so sweet. It's so nice. And then because of alcohol, on my part, I ruin everything with alcohol. That's why I can't drink. Because I ruin every good thing in the world. I'll ruin it with booze. So I don't do that. But that one of the beginning of the end of that resolved, and she had this car she worked really hard before. I think it was a 78 Toyota Celica, and it was burgundy. I know it was a Toyota Celica, I'm not sure the year. She loved that car. It had its little tricks, and we had a lot of fun in that car. And then I got jealous and drunk and wrecked it one night. And that's bothered me my whole life. That's bothered me. So I'm going to send this video to, I haven't decided, either her best friend that she's been best friends since then, or her stepmom, and have them listen to the first part of it. Because I want to I don't need to know her no more, because, like, it was fun back then, you know, life goes on, stuff like that. I always wanted to make financial restitution for that. That's always bothered me, and even back when I was in AA and recovery, and she was on my amends list, but usually it's not good to, like, if you were in a relationship with somebody, like, and they're still in a relationship, and she was married. She's always married, but she's not married now. So I'm going to because I messaged her once already. I tried to go at her direct, and I don't know if she got the message or not. So I'm going to try one time in an indirect way. All I want to know is how much the car cost that I totaled that she loved. And then I'll send it to her dad's house. And then I don't have to think about it ever again. And that's what more of the world is waking up to, is ways that they've acted before in life. They feel bad about it. And they keep thinking about the thing that they did that they feel bad about. And they're trying to have a good life going around la la la. And then they feel bad. But they feel bad inside. It creates a confliction. But people are waking up. We're in the midst of the greatest awakening in recorded history right now. It's pretty marvelous. I marvel at it every day. I'm like, wow. I haven't heard of a report of a kid. I think it's because of 3i. I had this... Well, as soon as I heard the name, because I'm 3i activated, right? And I play with the name. I just created another TikTok account, a third TikTok account yesterday. Because I always wanted, like, I have another YouTube channel that's 3i, the little lowercase, third I, 3i. Activism. I don't do anything with it. I don't even have it. I don't think I have it logged into it since I got my new phone. But when I see Third Eye Atlas, to me, my interpretation is people are just waking up to the realization that there's something out there. Because people are so focused within their own heads, and we create our out there reality based on what we think in our heads, but so many people are focused on stupid shit, man. Sports, religion, holidays, politics, entertainment. It's all the same to me. It's all the same. What's a job description? A job description to me is a synopsis, basically a character summarization of who you are supposed to be. Like, certifications are based on what? I could get little gold labels and, like, learn calligraphy and make little certificates, and sure, you could come to my Heyoka Clown University. You could be the master of your own destiny. It won't cost you a dime, because the ink and the paper, it's on me. So when people get graduations or certificates, when they get diplomas, when they get birth certificates, all of that stuff is to pay people in systems that want to take as much as they can away from you. There's two kinds of people in the world. There's people that mostly help or mostly hinder. I'm a helper. I'm one of those dumbasses, man. I run into danger. I got a laundry list of a life where I've done that. What are you doing, Marge? Somebody's gonna get hurt. It's gotta stop. I'm that freak of nature. And when I say freak, I don't mean F-R-E-A-K. I mean F-R-E-Q, like frequency. So, hi, Bubble Girl. Because that's all we are, is frequencies. And for every emotions humans have, there's a frequency tied to that emotion. Well, how often are people going through life with their inside frequency matching their outside emotion? They're unbalanced. That's why people drive race cars, because they got the zoomies inside and they're trying to create an external environment where they got the zoomies. People are trying to match their insides with their outsides. Instead of learning how to meditate and pause and get calm inside, that's a lot less pricey. It costs much less lives. The state in which I live, the only thing that it's number one in is self-will run riot. That's all people do. They just go around 24/7 doing whatever they want whenever they feel like it. And if they don't feel like it, they're not going to do it. And it's a very corrupt land. And it's coming out. I just watched this lady on TikTok talk about an old lady in her 80s. Her whole family's turning against her. She's going blind, has all these... Sandra's her name, up in Angel Fire. I think she just commented on my TikTok. Because I said, I'm in Taos, let's help Sandra. Because Colfax County, New Mexico, they're all part of the Bros Club. And they don't do what's right. They do what they want to do, and they'll protect their buddies because they went to high school with them. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. And so now an old lady is standing her ground. And now I said, I'm in Taos, let's help Sandra. Like, and there's other people that are like, how do we help? How do we help? Well, I'm in Taos. Let's meet at Ricky's. Let's meet at Ricky's in Taos. And I'm going to think about how we can help Sandra. And then anybody that wants to meet, we can meet. And then this lady, and we can like get trailers, gloves, all kinds of personal protective equipment. You got to be safe. Good girl. And then go out and help Sandra. Because that's the only way that the world is going to change. Because we gave them all the power to change the world. And they did it. And it's changed into something grotesque. That isn't sustainable for everyone. See, because you got to make the earth sustainable for people that can do nothing. Like, if I hadn't taken on being my mom's caregiver, she would not be on this earth. It's because I love her. And when you love things, they stay on the earth. And when you love yourself, the things around you, they want to leave. Because it's not fun to be around things that just love themselves all the time. That's not natural. It's an imbalance. In clinical books, in psychology books, they call it narcissism. They call it sociopath. They call it they give them all these terms, and I'm just like, it's just somebody else that's gonna care more about themselves than everyone else around them. And Taos is full of them. It's like the magnetics. See, our genetics, as I believe, come to know, is our magnetics. And that draws us like little chess pieces all over the land, all over the world. We're drawn. And in some people, their magnetics and their genetics are just keep them to stay in the same town that they were born in. And then they just live their whole 80, 90 years, 70, 40, their whole life. They just stay in that same vibrational frequency. And then they go out and they visit other vibrational frequencies by vacationing or playing basketball and other, just like seeing what it's like. And some people are like, oh no, I just like comfort because I want to keep my vibe down. I just want to maintain it, control it. I don't want anything too high. And then there's others that love living in the high frequency, and that takes away from everybody around you. That's just like an energy suck, a draw, as I understand it. So you don't want to be that person either. Anyway, I was telling a friend of mine, because I watched the world unfold, and then I remember my life. And I see how parts of my life are playing out right now, unbeknownst to me. So I'm learning about myself backwards from when I was born. Because I'm a Heyoka, and we do everything backwards, see. So I remember I had like it was like a nice, because we always sit outside. We've been sitting outside, me and Mom, since I was a little girl. Because whenever I had earaches or eye aches or whenever I ached, I'd lay under a tree, and it always made me feel better. And this one time I was laying on Mom, and I'm Scorpio moon, so Mom, I'm all about knowing the truth. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, go there. And I always ask tough questions because I want to know the truth. Good girl, Popper Top. And I used to ask questions like, you know, how did you and Dad meet? Were you in love? Blah, blah. And I always got vague, hem-ha, like willing, like never indirect answers. And I remember this one time I was like, Mom, tell me about when I was born. Tell me about the story of my birth. And she said, well, you were a little tiny little baby. Only 6 pounds high. Only 6 pounds, 4 ounces. And she's like, but your lungs hadn't developed. I was like, what? Like, I don't have asthma. I have no ramification of underdeveloped lungs. Never have. I don't. And she's like, yeah. So the doctors kept taking these really big needles, these really long needles, and then they would go in through my tummy into you to see if your lungs were developed. And then they had to wait to see if you were developed. They wanted, because I was C-section, they wanted to take me on April 1st, and Mom said, no, absolutely not. You're not gonna have my child born on April Fool's Day. And so they held off, and then it happened on the 9th, which is the 99th day of the year, which is a highly ritualistic day in history. That's what they made my birthday. And then now I'm growing up, because when I was little, I was always, terrible thing. See, I'm all, like, if they had a list of markers of things that happened to break a person's spirit, to break their brain, to make them a tool of society, it would be like sexual trauma at a young age, and it happened to me when I was 10 months old. It's like near-death experiences. I had 3 near-death experiences before I was 9 years old. Because of what happened when I was 10 months. By electricity once, and then once by drowning. And I always there was, up until I was probably 6, I wanted to be a little boy, sure. Because then I didn't have to stop and go inside and go pee. I could, it's easier. You just jump off your bike, pee, and go back to playing. Pee in the woods. That's like the greatest benefit of being a male on planet Earth. Is you pee wherever you want. Now everywhere they want to pee is like in public places, and now it stinks every place. You give a lot of dudes freaking a place to pee, and they'll pee out because they're marking their territory as their pea brain mentality. So And then I start thinking, I hear about the storyline about how they're fucking with people in vitro. And I was like, they weren't testing my lungs, they were putting like fucking hormones in me. They've been trying to make me angry my whole life, and my anger is not even anger, it's in frustration of like, why would you make, like, why are you mean to people? Like, these lines are because of my whole life. It's the group that are subjecting one person, or I'm always for the underdog because I've been the underdog my whole life. I just worked so much harder to get to places that people could never think about going. And I achieved in those places, and that's why most people don't see me, is because I'm only seen by people that have done remarkable things in some capacity, and not people that peak in high school or kindergarten. So I'm like, but I didn't go with the program. And people don't have to go with the program. I'm seeing a lot of people reverse their trans ideology. It's just that we're all masculine and feminine, and we're always constantly fighting within ourselves, which brings conflict to the external. I know. I got a pin video in places of me educating Deputy Doofus, but that guy fucked up when he opened up my car door not once but twice, and he kept taking his bully stick that he hit my fender with, and then he stuck it in my door, so I kept trying to lock the door so he could, and he kept jamming it, and I was like, no, you don't get to come in my space. The last time that happened, I was 10 months old, and then I declared which space I'm going to allow people, And the only time people take advantage of that is when I'm drunk. I've been kicked in the face, knocked down a flight of stairs, because everybody's my friend, and they act my friend, and they're evil inside, and I can't tell the difference, especially when I'm drunk. I can't tell what's good for me. I just want to have a good time, and I'm a smart ass, and I say things that freaking, it hits, because I'm a Heyoka, so I read people's energy, so I know who the mama's boys are. And mama's boys are in males and females too. It's an energy. It's like people that have always been taken care of. Oh, I see you. You've never had to change a tire in the rain. You've never had to skip. I see you. That's most of people in America. But now they're getting a chance to feel what it feels like to need help and be fucking ignored. Because when you needed help, you fucking ignored. So you always got to be the helper, y'all. You always got to be the helper. So whenever you need help, those helpers, the same frequencies, like they just tune in. So I'm curious as to see how Sandra is going to pan out in Angel Fire. And then hopefully I'll have updates with the whole making that financial amends for paying back that financial restitution for wrecking a car when I was 18, because that's bothered me. I don't want to be a kind of person that totals somebody else's car and never makes it right. So you got to see, there's a story called The 100th Monkey. Go look it up. Because I already know the story. I don't need to tell people the story. And people need to go down their own path anyway. So go look up The 100th Monkey. First time I ever heard that story, yeah, there's the 100th monkey. There's always the first. And I was always the first monkey. I still am the first monkey. I'm dancing around in the produce department. Like, because I don't care, because nobody sees me anyway. So I'm always the first to dance. Whenever there's like a DJ, I'll go up to the DJ and I'll be like, what do you got? And then they'll play something, and I can dance to anything because I always had these influences in my life. And I just paid attention and watched, and I pay attention to the magnetics, to the people that add. And usually the people that add to any situations are us the ones that have been beat up the most in life, not the ones that have been taken care of. That's why fucking society is collapsing in America, because people that have always been taken care of, they have fucking no idea, like I do, what it is to take care of another human being. I've been looking out for mom, making sure she don't die since I was a 15-year-old girl in 1989. And the fact that she's 74, she makes it to 75 November on her birthday, 28. She'll be 75 because I love her that much to take care of her, to make sure she eats every meal and that she's clean, and that any sore that she has or any nick, like, you gotta nip that on old people. Like, you gotta keep them clean. But people don't keep themselves clean. So what the fuck? How they care about keeping other people? I want to see all over America. I want it like they used to have rest stops. I want to see places where people can just crash, camp, whatever, take showers, do laundry, just because they're living beings on Earth. Not because they signed up to kill people like I did in places we don't belong, like when I was on Crete when we bombed Iraq in 2003. So yeah, because I've actually been to war, and what it entails to cause so much havoc, I'm think they can equally put as much resources as into creating safe haven for all beings on Earth, because people are figuring out we're not just all human. I'm probably one of those I'm probably one of those aliens. I remember I even had alien abduction. We were driving from Santa Bernardino, and Mom used to take us to the airport, and we'd watch the planes take off. And then it occurred to me later in life that we would do that so she could scream and get all of her frustrations out of her without freaking out her kids. Because she was so scared. Because she was always because my Freemason dad and his family were all constantly trying to take us away from her, and that distress, that, and they were a part of the system. So she just didn't have these jerk family. It was the jerk family plus the court system, plus they had friends that worked in hospitals, the sheriff department. Like, it's all corrupt, and I had been a part of the advantaged and the disadvantage from both sides, and I always side with the disadvantage. And then I see how that corruption is just spread everywhere because the corrupt are the advantage, and as long as people are gonna keep, unless their heart changes and they're like, I can't be a part of this. But how often does that happen? Maybe it's happening. Maybe people's heart are open up as more people die on Earth, because the Earth is coming into catastrophic event land, because there's people on it that have been like, ever since I was a little kid, I heard about how California was going to fall in the ocean. That's how we create, when more people see that and hear that, that's how we create reality, by projecting that energy. We create that potential in our minds, in our spirits, in our body, that goes into the earth shakes. Everything grows from the inside, including the earth. From volcanoes, everything oozes out. It can't stay inside. Pressure builds, you fester. Same things happens in people. That's why there's a direct correlation between ice cream sales and police reports going up. So this is the shit that really matters. Like, I don't go out much, but whenever I do go out, I'm doing something to elevate somebody else's position in life. Whether it's by giving them one of my stickers. This is one of my things I do. There's always things you can do to make other people feel better. Yesterday I bought a dude. I wonder if I'll ever see him again. Homeboy had court, and I bought him some ice cream. buy these stickers, these packs of stickers. Then I hand them out. Straight people like rainbows too, and I tell everybody, I said, that ain't the rainbow. I said, this is the color wheel. Because when I was a little girl, this is how rainbows looked in my mind. Yellow, orange, red, green, blue, purple. Purple's last. It's my least favorite color. People are like, it's the color of regality. I said, yeah, and those people never did nothing for me, so what the fuck do I care? So I like to give these pickers so it's the color wheel, because we're all just shades of the same color spectrum. It don't matter the color of your skin. It don't matter your ethnicity. It don't matter if you got alien DNA and third eye activated is coming at you from inner space to wake you up to say, hey, you know what? You got insides and outsides, and people have been focused too much on their external, and now this is waking people up that they got the external too, internal too. So everything is woo woo. See, I put a lot of pieces together. A lot of people have pieces of the puzzle. I take all the, because I take weather, because I take forecasts, I take data, I take human data, every source. Like trends, that is a data, that is a mass conception of, that's a broadband of frequency of people. And they all have similar places in there that draw them to events and behaviors based on frequencies, and then society just feeds into their frequency and makes them dance like energetic puppets on a planetary string. These are the things that I have put together, because I just haven't had nothing but time to think. I've spent so many hours at the mercy of somebody else, just waiting to do something that somebody else wanted me to do so I could appease them, so they could give me crumbs so I could do something I wanted to do later. Because that's what the world is. I've been tripping out on the sinkhole in Bangkok. Like I woke up that because I'm like, because when your soul has reincarnated so many times, like you've been a part of these things, so when you see it, you're reminded of it, and then you're like, all you want is everybody around to be okay. Like, is everyone okay? And then of course you have the people that run away that only care about themselves, but they're just showing that they only care about themselves. So focus on the, head count. Everybody check. It doesn't matter if you like people. It doesn't matter, their political party. It doesn't matter what music. Like, none of that fucking matters when the earth flips over. None of, like, and it don't have to happen in a literal sense. Because my world ended today. Or not today. My world ended, like, September 2nd when I put my third dog down in 11 months. The world that I knew for 15 years, the world that I made just to keep them to take their last breath. But I still got old Luna left, and Stanley's, he's got years left. But that just frees me up to help other people, Which is what I do, is because they're not here, and instead of sitting around thinking about how sad I am because I miss my dang dogs, I just pump iron and go hand out stickers. It's getting dangerous out there because people are fearful. And people are lonely. I found this kid on TikTok. He's got, like, I don't know. He's got more followers. Everybody's got more. I don't do nothing for followers. I do I follow. Anyway. But but he's like sitting in his car like it's Sonic or something, and it's midnight. He's just like, man, I don't have no friends. I said, yeah, a lot of people don't have no friends, but, and he's like, man, if you want to come kick it, I'll buy the beer, I'll buy, it's on me, and there's so many people that have them that are generous. They just want to share what they got with other people. But then the people you share it with, like, people are just parasites because they're fearful, and that you are what you eat. Like, I'm seeing more people on their head. I've been doing ionic foot soaps for a couple years now. Takes all the heavy metals out. I got heavy metals in me when I was a kid. Because they know who us sensitive beings are, and what they want to do is just make us more sensitive. Because we know things, and they don't want everybody to know the things that we know. Because then they can't play their stupid reindeer games if word gets out. And we're the truth speakers, and like and I'm not putting myself in the same category as anything that people. I'm a real life person that does things in my community on a daily like handing out water. Like, I'll go to the taco stand, buy a bunch of tacos, and then go find people on the street to give them to that are like just because they're hungry. People that can't take care of themselves because they're the scapegoat or outsider or underdog. We got all kinds of names. We just don't. We just always watching how people do things on the inside and going, man, that's really fucking weird. Why don't they do things that like help people on the outside? I want to see I want to see the rest stop come back. You won't see so much road rage if you put like those rage rooms in rest stops. You wouldn't. Like, let people freaking give people a place to blow off their steam and not just shooting these. Like, because people got stuff inside and it like that's why people snap, because they don't have any place to put that all the emotions that they have inside. They're not allowed to talk about it anywhere. They're not, because it's crazy, you know, like you can't, like none of that. So let people go in a room and break some TVs and stuff. Like, Lord knows appliances are crap. Like, let them break some plates, some, you know, do stuff like that. Then hopefully they won't jump off the bridge, come all the way to the gorge in Taos, New Mexico to fucking jump off the bridge. The stupid cousins, their solution is, oh, pedestrians not allowed. So now I can't even put stickers on the bridge because nobody's on the bridge, because that's their solution. But booze is still okay. So I'm seeing all these ads or these news articles where people are, you know, they closed off the Taos to save him from himself. It's just like, but booze is okay. Every day people kill themselves and other people with all kinds of cancers and driving drunk and shooting people because they got the wrong idea, because they got an idea of a reality based on an altered state, you know, when things aren't happening. I've done it myself, and I only totaled the car. I didn't get mad and be like, take out the whole neighborhood, you know, because you got to have emotional control, and society don't. Now karma's coming back around. Nobody talks about this shit. I know it. I'm the only one that talks about it. My native remembers. My indigenous DNA, that's mom's side of the family. It remembers, like, the course of this, what this country could have been if the colonists never would have taken over. There's that storyline. There's that timeline where there's food, vegetables. You know, we're not fucking heathens. Nobody in their right brain attacks other people to take what they got. Because people in their right mind are grateful for what they have, and they want to see what other people have and share what they got. They don't want to fucking take it over. That's dark. That's imbalanced. And there's plenty enough on this plane, this earthly plane, the great plane, all the planes, put all the planes together. There's plenty for everybody. Yet there's small groups of people that designate these other large groups of people aren't worthy for whatever benefits of life that they have. And they never even worked hard to get them. So the big shift is here. And it's going to play out in all kinds of ways. It depends on the story in which your life is supposed to unfold. And my story is amazing. We've been all over this map. I've been all over the globe in all the latitudes and longitudes that I've been into a broad spectrum. I've been from the 20th latitude all the way up to the highest point that I didn't go up to Purdue Bay, but I knew people that were like large crane operators up there. That's the top. Like, you got to be in the good club. But I've been to the 65th parallel, 64th parallel. So that plus or minus 2 rule, 60, that's Fairbanks, Alaska, and I went up there twice. In winter, that sucked. I hated it. It was cool seeing like moose and stuff, like seeing the things that are Alaska. Reindeer, we went to like that place where Santa's a biker, you know, like everything's smoke and mirrors. We live in just such a contrived reality. But anyway, it's almost time for Mom to be getting up, huh, Mom?
No.
You about ready?
Yeah.
Give me just a second, okay? Because I don't have a mirror. I washed my hair last night and I just went to bed. I just took a shower. I'm like, dude, I haven't taken a shower. My days have all just melded together. And I do really nothing, but before I know it, it's 3 and then. So I have mirrors, so I'm just going to use this real quick to fix my. This is my get ready with the Heyoka. Oh, gosh. My hairs are my antenna. And I used to be real dumb because I have real short. I'm just kidding. No, I do believe my hair is my antenna, but it's also very big on like intuition. And I want to learn how to braid it because I don't want to have to rely. I can braid. I want a fishtail. I used to fishtail braid Dita's hair, but I have a disconnect in my brain. I have holes in my brain for all kinds of reasons. So I think backwards. So I just gotta do the best I can. But I would like to have like a few braids. I think I could do more with my hair if I knew how to do it, but I never had nobody that I could watch. I tried to watch YouTube videos, but everything's backwards, and then I've got to try and unflip it. It's not worth the effort. So I do the best I can with what I got, cause I'm a hothead. I don't have this haircut because it's cute, or I have this haircut because I get hot, and when I get hot, then I have no patience for any kind of bullshit, and society does not like that. Society wants to lock me up because I logically and accurately narrate course of events that make people in positions of authority and power look unfavorable. That's what I do. It's my role. I had to live through hell on earth as a child. And here's stories about how my mother lived through hell on earth as a child under the worst extremes. She was in those Indian schools. She was a part of all that. Like, that's how I know the world is a terrible place, because we come directly from people. But then the other side of my DNA are the people that benefit from doing the terrible things to people. So I have inner conflict that I get to work through every single day. I do a pretty good job, though. I don't got no police record. I stayed out from being out in front of a judge because I can't control my emotions. That's why the whole entire judicial system exists, is for people that can't keep how mad they are inside themselves. They have to take that anger and put it out with one of these or one of these or one of these, or I do it with my mouth. I just articulate things with my mouth that enrage people. And I can't even. I got to be careful with that in the world, or because there's crazy people. There's crazy people everywhere all the time. I've seen them my whole life. I befriended them. Because all the Pisces, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, I am bad with boundaries. So I'm getting better. So I just don't. My circle is a dot. I don't hang out with people much. That's about it. It's getting goofy out there. Anyway, that's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging